What is up, guys? Winter Kills here. We are back with another locals deck profile. Here I am joined with my good friend Partho, and today he went undefeated at locals playing Beetroopers. All right, let's take a look at that list.
Yep, and this isn't really so much of a new profile as much as it is an updated version of the profile on this channel from earlier, so you can find that. And I won't go into detail too much about the earlier cards, but you can find that detail there.
Okay.
So, starting off, 3 Sting, 2 Arbalest, 3 Twin Bow, 2 Pin. So this is the Battle Wasp engine. It's a little smaller than last time because I had to make room.
Okay.
And then we have our Beetrooper cards. Let me get into these first though. So 3 Galaxy Worm, another extender. And then we have 3 Scout Buggy, 3 Bomber, 3 Lancer, and then the 1-Os being Flapper, and then Neptune, and then what you search off of Lancer. Those cards are here. So the 1 Counter Trap, the 1 Landing for the Fusion spell, the 1 Descent, the 1 Formation.
Okay, so you got some new cards from Burst of Destiny. How do you like them so far? These 4 cards here specifically?
Yeah, so they are pretty useful. So I don't know if I would say that they're still the most competitive version to play the deck, but I tested it out and they really fit some of my playstyle and what I like to do. I really like decks that have lots of recursion.
Okay.
So when you're playing a deck, there is definitely like the optimal way to play it, and then there's also the play it that you kind of gel with the most, and they're not necessarily one the same. So for me, while I can't say that this is the best way of playing it, this is what I have the most fun with, and it's given me a fair amount of success. So
Okay.
the Neptune is pretty nice for recursion from the Banished. The Light Flapper you've also seen me use in some of the feature matches on this channel. It's great as a negate attack, and it lets you recur resources, so these two extend your grind game a ton. The Fusion spell is also pretty decent because it can recur itself from grave, so it can trigger Resonance Insect on the follow-up, even if you don't have anything to banish it, like a roller or a dozer. This goes up here. So it puts in a lot of work that way with the Fusion, because the Fusion is immune to everything, and for 2 turns. And even after that, you can link it away, return it to the extra deck with something like Lancer and Zector, and then fuse with it again, because at that point you should have a lot of resources. But it depends, because lots of decks just go into X code, which is an easy way to out it. But against decks that can't, or in a simplified situation, it's very, very strong.
Alright.
So yeah, and then this just replaces the Stekapede, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, and then this is just another extender. It's not a monster engrave to shuffle back with Pico or to get back with this, but it still pops the spell of trap, so it's good for utility. So right now there's 4 targets for Lancer, which lets Lancer be a little bit better in the long run.
Okay.
Usually going second, you side out these because you don't want grind so much as you want going second cards.
Yeah.
So that's there, but going second, landing is still pretty nice because you get a giant body on board, and if they don't negate, and it can start bringing back things and start gaining advantage from there.
Gotcha.
And then the last few cards to round out the deck, very similar to last time, the 2 Goki pull. I think before I had 3, but I had to cut space. So the 3 Resonance Insect, the heart and soul of the deck for sure.
Absolutely.
And then with the Goki pull, these 2 level 4s. I can also search like other level 4s like this or the Arbalest, but these 2 are like the 2 main ones to have a pop for an interrupt or a follow-up, and then the Retaliating Sea, and then the 1 Doom Dozer, of course, and then the 3 Forbidden Droplets. They put in so much work all the time. So that is it for the main deck.
Okay, 40 cards, I assume?
Yes, 40 cards.
Alright, let's take a look at the extra deck.
Sure. Just put these away real quick. Alright, so the extra deck, we have, I guess let's start off with the Zeus package since it's at the front. This puts in a lot of work with very little resources. Something like a Galaxy Worm or a Scout Buggy can get you there by itself, which is very nice. This is the Fusion monster. So the extra deck is pretty much exactly the same as it was last profile, with the exception of this.
Okay.
The thing I had to cut for that was, instead of playing 3 copies of this, I'm only playing 2 copies. I can technically recycle one with Light Flapper and put it back in the extra deck. So that's kind of the thought process of why I reduced that instead of something like Insector Pico Felena or even the 2 Papillion. And then I think this is kind of a must-have, and then the 2 links here.
Gotcha.
So you could decrease this, but like they all come up quite a bit. The 3rd one actually has come up for me before, but it's a sacrifice to play. Well, if you play this, and technically, like I said, Light Flabber can get you back one of the banished ones.
All right. And now into the side deck?
Yep.
All right.
So for the side deck, it's also very similar to last time. I have 2 Retaliating Sea because I main decked the 1. So this is really good this format against something like Bird Call. It's also really good against the Circle that the Tennies play, the quick play spell, because that can also special summon a monster. So it has some greater applications this format than it did last format. And obviously against stuff like Prank Kids and Shadows, it's also pretty good.
Gotcha.
So the Kaiju package, a lot of people were asking why I wasn't playing like the Wind one, and I was actually. I just played like 1 of each because you want to see different names to be able to resolve this. And I don't play more copies of this because I don't want to brick with it. But any 2 gets you into breaking 1 card on your opponent's side and getting you an insect.
Gotcha.
This time I'm playing a Pankratops instead of the 1 Contact Sea that I was playing. Contact Sea isn't that great because people can just make Anaconda with it or IP or something. So I'm just testing this out right now. It didn't really come up today. And against back row decks, my deck can't deal with back row, so I play the 1 Duster, 3 Twin, 3 Evenly, and then the 1 going first card, which is the Imperial Order.
Nice. Very nice.
Yep.
All right. So quickly, what were your matchups today?
Yep. So round 1, I was playing against what deck has Light Stage in it?
Trickstar?
Yes, Trickstar. So a Trickstar artifact. I won the die roll, so I didn't have to worry about artifacts on my turn 1. I realized it on turn 2, but I just had enough resources to push through games 1 and 2. Then round 2, I believe I played against Phantom Knights. That was like game 1. I was just destroyed because I lost the die roll and I just couldn't break the board. I tried, but I probably should have just gone to the next game immediately.
Yeah.
Game 2, I was up way ahead in resources, but my buddy Dan, he didn't scoop. So I was like wondering if he had something for me in time, game 3. So that's what I was like really afraid of because we're getting close to time. Game 3, he opened pretty weakly, so it was just very unlucky on his end. And he just set up an Appaloosa, but we get into time, and it would have been very close, I think, because he just had an Appaloosa. He didn't really have any Phantom Knights around, and I had some Link monsters on board as well. But it would have been very close. So we just rolled for it, and I happened to win that.
Gotcha.
Round 4 was against another good friend, Kaz. He was on the Sword Soul deck, and you'll see that feature match, or if you haven't already.
Yep.
And it was a very close deck, a rematch from last time. It was just a very close game, I'll say. The match was really cool. It goes up all the way to the very end.
Wire
Exactly. So you guys will have a look at that, but it could have gone either way. I misplayed it a little bit too by not summoning Bomber earlier at the very end to be able to like link climb out, and then by the time I realized it, I couldn't summon Bomber anymore because the trigger window already passed. So I had to pass on a weak board, but I ended up managing to snag that out. And then round 4 was up against Guru Control. Game 1, I lost the die roll, and I mean, there can be only one. And then Necro Valley, that just destroyed me. I was trying to like go into the fusion spell, but by that point they already had the Umastrix and they had the trap card that can boost attack. So that Umastrix can just beat over my fusion monster, unfortunately. Game 2, I saw Duster, so that was nice, and he didn't expect me to make him go first because like this deck again doesn't really do much against back row decks, so I just went second with like a bunch of these cards. I just went second with like all of these cards basically, and it put in enough work. I saw this, and that was good enough to get me there. Game 3, he went first. I think he had like a set Guru, a set Waking the Dragon. He had D-Shifter, and he had like another random trap card. I didn't have any back row removal, surprisingly, but I was able to get into Phoenix. He shifted me, before that, but then I had Neptune to shuffle 3 banished insects back, and then I had the token generator that also can pop one because I had Neptune on board. Neptune has 3,000 attack, so I popped his other back row. One of them was Waking the Dragon, but I was able to link climb into access code, beat over the Ultimate Falcon, and then banish access code by banished itself to pop the Guru, and then from there I was in a winning position.
Very nice. Wow, clutching it up there right at the very end.
Yes.
Really quickly, anything you think you might change going forward? Or do you like the list as is right now?
I think the list is pretty good. Like, again, like there's still some debate in my mind as to what I should replace for this. Like, maybe it should be the 3rd Insector instead of the 3rd Armor Horn, because like the Armor Horn has come up for me here and there, but like I have less ways of recycling back the Insector. And then the only other thing is for the Battle Wasp engine, instead of playing 3 twin, there's an argument for 3 pin instead of 3 twin, because pin doesn't lock you into making non-insects, whereas twin does. But twin lets you play through like nib a little better potentially, because you can summon it without needing any insects on board, whereas pin you need insects on board.
Gotcha.
So this time I decided to play twin, but there is some debate in my mind what's the right way to go.
All right, well, awesome. Congrats on going undefeated today. And thank you very much for the profile. I'm sure the people at home will appreciate it. They love seeing you on the Beetrooper deck.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you for the profile. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys in the next one. And like always, I want to give a special thanks to our Divine level channel members, and they are Cadillacs84, Pony Start, Key Sigers, Tweeter0226, and Black Ninja Money. Thank you guys so much, as always, for your extremely generous support of this channel.